Hello, 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 guys. Good evening. Any notification, anyone? You have? Dr. Sunday? No movement? Hello, everyone. Hi, Gideon. How are you? Good evening. You're the first today, Gideon. Well done. Good evening. Hi, Isaiah. Good evening. Hi, Julie. Innocent, how are you? Cuckoo. Anu, good evening. Good evening, everyone. Welcome to today's program. I know you've seen the title there, and I'm so looking forward to this, guys. You know that book reviews are educational on its own, but today we're having our only queen, or real queen, Anastasia Macdonald.
Why only queen? We have thousands of them.
Yeah, but it's the only queen. Efrain, good evening. Charles, good evening. Laddie, how are you? It's been a while. Emma, good evening. Hello, Pastor Natalia, how are you? Good evening. Esther, good evening. Thank you for joining. Guys, as you're coming in, please do the honors and share. Thank you. And don't just share, also invite people. So invite your friends and family. They really like when you do that. They feel honored and welcome. So please do that straight away. Invite people. At least each person should invite 10. And of that, maybe 2 would join us. So each. So Innocent, thank you. I can hear Dsa'S voice. Of course he's here, Innocent. Yes, he's here. Queen Nikki, good evening. Thank you all. Hakan, sorry. Good evening, how are you? So guys, it's a special book review, reader's review today. So Dr. Sunday is here and Queen Anastasia is also here to review some of his latest books with you. And also, I just want to remind you guys, look what we've got here. This is the Golden Jubilee magazine, the much awaited Golden Jubilee magazine. So we've got lots in stock now for you guys. You will not believe. Look at it, look at it, look at it. Look at the gloss, look at everything about it. I know some of you have been asking me about this magazine, and I just want to tell you that we've got lots in stock now. And since there are going to be people that are coming from all over the world for the HMT, you might want to contact anyone that you know that is coming for HMT to help you to purchase one of this. So it's only $40.
Is it just one they could purchase?
Yes, at least one. But you could purchase as many as you want. This magazine is absolutely amazing. So it's limited edition, as you know. So first come, first serve. So you must ask as quickly as possible so that we can reserve your copy and your friend can bring it for you. So it's $40 each, and you can order as many as you can, or you want, rather, as many as you want. So we'll reserve that. So I'm just showing you guys now. This is Dr. Sunday's Golden Jubilee Celebration Special Edition magazine, or limited edition. So you won't find this anywhere else. So if you don't get your copy now, then I don't know when we will be available, if it would ever be available. So here we go, okay? It's got hundreds of pages. So it's actually a great value for money, over 300 pages. And some of you also might see your pictures in here. If you're a DSA family and you're active, I'm sure your picture is in here. So it's worth getting so that others can see. And also you will be able to learn so much about Dr. Sunday. This is an actual book on its own, or 10 books. So here it is, the Golden Jubilee Celebration magazine, okay? Right, I will show you again during the a break or so, during today's book review, okay? All right, guys, thank you very much for listening to me. Hello, Pastor Obi, how are you? Stella, good evening. Who else is here that I haven't greeted yet? Hello, Israel, good evening. Thank you for joining, Vivian. Hi, Paul. Hello, Evans. Thank you for joining. Matthew, good evening. Thank you for joining. So, guys, I'm still waiting for you to share, please. Share with as many people as possible so that the numbers of people watching right now can increase. Everyone will benefit from this. And also, I want to urge parents, and if you're a teenager out there, or, you know, it's not just teenagers, anyone really at any age, because we're reviewing more than one book. So please ask them to join us. They will really benefit from this this session tonight. Oriyomi, good evening. Thank you for joining. Innocent, done reading 3 of Dsa'S book. I'm impressed with the content. It's like drinking from the fountain of knowledge. Now I'm inspired to do mighty things. Wow.
Who is that?
That's Innocent. Thank you,
What are the
Innocent.
books? Let him tell you the name.
So, Innocent, can you just write in the comment section what books you've been reading? The 3 books that you just mentioned that you've been reading.
We're going to be reviewing maybe 3 books today.
Yes, and Dr. Sunday is just saying possibly we'll be reviewing 3 books today. So maybe one of your book will be in the review today as well. But let us know the books that you're reviewing. Thank you very much for that. And also, I am going to hold you up for mighty things. So I am inspired to do mighty things. So when I call you for Kingdom Fruits, I really want to see those mighty things. Okay? Because I will be calling you soon. Already we are in contact about it. So I'm really looking forward to that. Thank you very much for that comment. It's really poignant at this tonight's program. Thank you. So right now, I'm going to turn the camera. There's some people here, but the most important people here right now, I will turn the camera to them. Not that everyone is not important. There we go. Da-da-da-da. Was I able to capture both? Hello.
Yes, good evening. Good evening, everybody. I was thinking of getting the... good evening, everyone. Today, I think this is a special program, probably the first of its kind, whereby we're actually... I'm not the one doing the review of my book, whereby it is another person that is doing the review of the book. And I think this is a nice style, a nice format. Are you poised? Well poised?
I am poised.
Okay. I hope Queen Anastasia is well poised to go all the way and to be herself in spirit and in truth. Because, you know, I personally was inspired, and this is what led to this. Yes, please. This is what led to this program. Inspired, and the passion with which she spoke. I love the energy that she conveyed and she communicated. I just was inspired. I was so inspired. And I want you all to be inspired, because she was actually telling me everybody, everywhere, not just DSA family, but anybody, any human being, need to get, you know, a series of books that have really ministered to her. You know, but before I would tell you that, I think you must know something about Queen Elizabeth that you might not, Queen Anastasia that you might not have known till now. That is, she's very thorough. She's very, very thorough, and the way she she reads my books and books in general shows how thorough she is. Can you see the way she reads? You want to see more? This is the way this queen reads. You want to see the wonder she is? See the wonder she is. See the wonder she is. See the queen she is. Very thorough. And that's why she's going to be able to actually give us from the very depth of her heart and of herself. You know, every page is like this. Just every page. Every page. I don't know all the science, but when she gets to this book, she'll be able to tell you herself. But these are not the most important things. These are just for her. But the most important things are her feelings. What she's experiencing. Those are the most important things these days. Ooh, look at this one. People are sending. This is how this goes, reading. So now you've been reading my books. I want you to say a few things in general before you now begin to settle down on each one at a time.
Okay. Thank you, Dr. Sandy, for this privilege and for this opportunity. Hello, everybody. My name is Anastasia Macdonald. I wish I had come across Dr. Sandy's books when I was a teenager, or even when I was a young child, because right from my childhood, I was labeled and told, I was stupid, I had no academic intelligence, I was most of the time labeled average, and that is what I believed. I believed it way up until my adulthood, and it really affected my self-confidence. It really impacted my self-confidence. So these books, they are like gold dust for me. They really, really matter. I just need to hear that Dr. Sandy has released a new book and it's going in my library. I don't care how much it costs. If it means that I have to do something that is extraordinary so that I can just get a copy, then so be it. That is how much these books mean to me. They have and they continue to transform everything that I have been told. So essentially, all the big lies that I've been told, these books have refuted them and made me realize how awesome I am. How awesome. Now, it may not be your cup of tea, it may not be meaningful, but when it's, when you've had my background and my story and you believed a life for so long and you just feel like, you're nothing. For those of you who've never, listened to my life story series, which I've done and is on Facebook, YouTube, you will have a real understanding.
And on Facebook.
And on Facebook as well. Yeah. You will have a real understanding for where I'm coming from. A very broken, twisted, no self-worth, all of those negative and dark thoughts, those were the things that I was brought up with. And that was my mindset for a very long time. Obviously, I knew how to cover and hide sometimes, but most of the time I wouldn't talk. So it was that bad. It was that bad such that my mom would literally she would beg me to open my mouth and talk. She didn't have any clue what's going on in my mind because obviously I was not voicing out, my dark thoughts. But all these things started from my childhood. The point of reference started from my childhood. So. And
that's why you are going to start with the first book you are going to start with.
Yes. So that's it in a summary, that I've come from a very dark, twisted mindset, and I was told everything else that I was made in the image and in the brilliance of God. Everything is the opposite. So reading these books have really opened my mind in such a way. If I should tell you, sometimes I feel like my mind is being put through a washing machine and is being washed very thoroughly on high speed to get rid of every form of junk that has been in my mind. And now I have the opportunity to begin to see. I'm not seeing 2020 yet, but I'm on that way. I'm not where I used to be, but I'm telling you, I am far, far, far away from where I used to be. And these books, they are gold dust. They are gold dust.
Yes. So which one are you starting with? Because since you have started with your story,
yes.
I could guess the book you want, the one that impacted you in that direction, right?
Yeah, so I would like to start with the creative and innovative power of a genius. I mean, a genius, Would I call myself a genius? No way. No way. I only looked and admired at geniuses from afar. And it didn't help because geniuses were always put on a pedestal. You know, the world never told us that, you know, you could be a genius or you are a genius. The world put them on a pedestal because they had a high IQ. So it was all about they were made in that special way. God made them geniuses. I think they came out from the womb as geniuses. And so when I came across this book, it really caught my attention. I said, okay, let me see what my best mentor in the whole.
Maybe it's the opposite. Maybe you would have been discouraged. So that people would have said, oh, okay, this is about genius. It's not for me. But why did you why did you choose to choose it?
I chose to choose it because I wanted to discover the truth about who a genius is. And because of the caliber person you are, because of what your messages and all the rest, I knew that there would be something that I haven't read before. There was something from the extraordinary, from the opposite. And so that is what I wanted to discover. Okay, all my life I've learned that geniuses are out there. I'm not one of them. I don't have an IQ. I mean, my school records have said anything else otherwise. I've always been labeled as average, can't do this, she can't do this, she's, you know. So I thought because it was you.
So it is because it is me.
Because it was you.
Okay.
Because it was
because
you.
The natural tendency is that if you had been labeled that you are not a genius, when you just leave that, just, oh, it's not for me. Just because you know.
Yes, because it was you. Because it was you, and I know you have a very different mindset, and I said, okay, let me give myself the chance. I said, Anastasia, hang on a second there. Just give yourself the chance and study what Dr. Sunday is saying. And so I would say that I did come up with the initial, well, I'm not a genius, but because it was you, I said, okay, it's DSA, he never writes anything, you know, and so Anastasia, just give yourself, study the book and hear what he has to say.
Yeah, and no break, just keep on going.
Yeah, so ladies and gentlemen, kings and queens, I started to read this book. And I cannot begin to tell you how it was. I explained to the DSA that I didn't read.
I see that you get distracted by the mosquitoes and the flies. I'm here. I'm here. Security. Okay. I'm here. Okay. You are secure. Okay. Leave them. You are secure. You are. Just be in that peace. Okay. Don't be. Okay. Just focus on what you need to do.
So
I take care of the problem.
Okay. So as soon as I began to read the book, it was like somebody whose battery was dead and was suddenly being recharged. I'm telling you, my spirit man, I have never experienced this before. To put in words, it was like power being infused in my inner man. For the very first time, the penny dropped that, Anastasia, you are a genius. I've never been able to tell myself that I'm genius. Yes, I've heard messages in similar respects, but it was always that. Well,
what did it for you to come to that conclusion that Anastasia? Yes. Go through the book. Let's see.
Let me go through my.
What was the first spark?
The first
and what was it that touched you deeply?
Okay, so,
or what is the line? What is the thought of line? Or what is the general concept that really did it for you?
The introduction says, "It is indeed a tragedy to see people who are awesomely and wonderfully made showcasing themselves as members of an intellectually disadvantaged race. Awesomely and wonderfully made, but showcasing themselves as members of an intellectually disadvantaged race." That was me. That was me. Why is it that people who are born with marvelous brains have gladly embraced and accepted the falsehood of being born as a person of average intellectual capacity? Why? Let me read that again. Why is it that people who are born with marvelous brains have gladly embraced and accepted the falsehood of being born as a person of average intellectual capacity? Now remember, I was always told this story.
That you are average.
Yep, that's what I've been
This is a
programmed.
good style to be reading out some of the things that really touched you.
Yes,
Brilliant.
you know, and it said ignorance of the greatest treasures that people have within them have made them think that the Creator is partial.
Ignorance.
Ignorance, that's me. That is me. That's made it to think that Creator is partial. They think that that only a few people are created specially, and that the vast majority of the world population are condemned to an average life with little or no mental exploits. That did it for me. That just said, okay, and it continues. If you have heard the word genius, used and you think it has nothing to do with you, please open the pages of this book and you will find out that you have been absolutely wrong all your life. That was me.
Because you are a genius.
Yes, so I have cried silently because quiet people don't know how to cry outwardly. We cry inwardly. So you can be looking at me, I can be sitting here and you won't know I'm crying. You know, extroverts will cry physically. You see the tears pouring out. But for introverts, for parents, be very careful with your children. Introverts cry most of the time inwardly. You will never see any tears. They can be doing everything. They can be very obedient. But let me tell you something, they are crying. And that was my story. I cried a lot inside. I cried in church a lot, but nobody saw my tears. Tears of pain. You know, so you'll find out that everyone is created equally by the impartial Creator. We all have equal access to the best of resources in this world. Nobody has more than 7 days in a week, 366 days in a year. So that was the beginning of me. That is what really made it for me.
Yeah, keep on going. What are the other? I want interesting for me to even hear and to know what are the things you underlined.
So here I said, there is no one.
Or you could comment.
Yes,
if you, yeah.
There is no one who's not born with creative, innovative, and inventive potential. It is only unfortunate that a lot of people have been blind to the seeds of greatness within them and have accepted the lowly and despicable life of an inferior generation as norm. That is my story. Let me hammer that point again. There is no one who was not born with creative, innovative, and inventive potentials. It is only unfortunate that a lot of people have been blind to the seeds of greatness within them and have accepted the lowly and despicable life of an inferior generation as norm. Do you know how many people, like myself, have believed that lie? To believe that you are lowly, despicable, and inferior, those three words, I know what it feels like. I know what it feels like because you are slapped with that label. And when this thing or these words are repeated over time, you begin to believe them as true. And so it doesn't matter what anybody says to you. There is a mental cap over your mind, and you don't see beyond that. And that was my story, you know. And just to go a little outside. I mean, I've had friends tell me, Anastasia, you are intelligent, you are so creative, you are so, you name it. It would just go over my head. It would just go over my head, you know. And I'll go in my room and cry, silently, you know. So listen to this. There's a question. How would you feel if at the end of your days, on earth, you get to realize that you have so much potential, abilities, and talents in you, but you never knew about it? At the end of your, no. I where I am right now, I cannot do that. You know, to come to the end of my life, to wait and realize that Daddy God has filled me with so much potential. So that, that pushed me to read more. So this is one of my favorites. Many have been misled to believe that only geniuses are the ones that excel in the school classroom. And as a result, a lot of people have wrongly despised their talent. Oh my goodness. This is a real sensitive one because, this programming started in the classroom. It started in the classroom. Now, I'm an artistic person, and so the way my brain functions, it functions as an artistic person. And the school and most of the academic system is based on intellectual English and maths. So you need to be mathematically inclined, and you need to have a way with language. So if there's anything outside this, then I'm sorry, you're labeled. You're labeled as having HD, what do you call it? HDH, or all the A's and the D's and H. You're just labeled as, there's something wrong with you. And that is what, So I was misled from a very early age to believe that, isn't it it's only Anastasia? Well, sorry, that's her, But only to discover that geniuses, they are not born, they are made, they're not, So let me look at, let me go to, and here it says that you need to learn how to mine the gold, which is your potential. You need to learn how to mine that gold. You need to learn to begin to look inside of yourself. I'm talking to those of you, particularly to those of you who have been labeled as...
Who have not achieved anything.
Anything.
Even if they were not labeled, but they've not achieved anything. Because what this book is saying, that everybody has the creative and innovative ability of a genius.
Yes.
So why have I not discovered it?
Well, for different labels. But I discovered that we all need to learn to mine. And Daddy God is a very interesting, if you study the nature of God, why is that we don't find diamond on the surface of the earth? It is hidden in the depths of the earth. It needs to be, what's the word? Extracted and washed and all that. And similarly, God has hidden all these wonderful abilities and potentials inside of us that we need to discover. And I think what really made it for me when the penny dropped was when I discovered that my genius is all in my potential. All those ones, so the things that like my artistic ability, I would never have.
That's your geniusity.
I would never have classified it. Do you know how I would classify a genius? I would classify a genius as before this. I'll classify genius as somebody who is mathematically inclined, who can count numbers, who can do physics. Yes. Science without any effort. That's how.
So this book says your potential is the whatever potential you have should be converted.
It must converted to reality.
Yeah. So that's how genius is created.
Yes, and said you realize that poverty can only reign in your life if you choose not to create wealth for yourself by discovering and developing your genius ability.
So it's a potential, genius ability. So your artistic, something is a genius ability. Your psychological, the ability to converse and see people's needs is your genius ability.
Yes.
And all other things.
All other things. I never realized that this is what, because you see, the world portrays genius as those kind of people. And we
that's
have,
good.
that's what the world does. Because we have what we call the Mensa group or whatever, and this Mensa group, they are to do with people with extraordinary high IQ levels. They doesn't tell us that somebody with potential. It doesn't say any. It doesn't say that. It only classifies this special group of people or these children that have these extraordinary capacities or capabilities. It doesn't say that every one of us is a genius, or your genius is in all those gifts, talents, abilities that are hidden inside of you.
And here you underline the key is to mine your potential. Yes. And after mining, they will even create wealth
for yourself. You create wealth for yourself by discovering and
mining.
And developing your genius.
Developing.
In addition to using the great invention of work. Work.
Ah.
Work. W-O-R-K.
So the potential to draw and to be artistic, any potential, or to sing, or to write, or to just look, or just anything, if you will use the power of work,
That's right.
you can develop it
Yeah.
and upgrade it to genius level.
To genius level. So I thought I got it.
Go work.
You know, and to add, let me see, what was I? To add tremendous value to your generation by creating and innovating and inventing. Look at that. Brilliant.
What you already have. So
What
you
I
already have all geniusity that is necessary in this world.
But I was blind. I was so blind. I thought, no, well, all my life that is what I've been told. You know, so it didn't matter what.
Okay, go ahead. We're anxious.
So here, some people have discovered their own genius ability right from their early childhood years, but they never used it to achieve any accomplishment of notable significance. A genius that doesn't use his ability to make an impact on his world, all the world is living a wasted life. That is good. But it says, how can you develop your genius ability till you become like an innovator like George Washington Carver or an inventor like Thomas Edison? How can your
That's
genius
what the
ability-
book is all about.
Yes.
It's going to take you from wherever you are right now to go to that level of Thomas Edison. Give you the keys and the.
This is really
This is a gem.
It is really, it hits you right in the face because these are top people. You're talking about, George Washington Carver and Thomas, and you're telling me that I can move from this lowly, despicable, to being one of these innovators. Just amazing.
Go ahead.
So I learned. So what habits do these creators have that makes them more successful than many others that regard themselves as geniuses but fail to use their ability for anything tangible? The answers, which is to do with developing your genius potential through intensive hard work. Intensive hard work. Now, I am 54 and I've never understood the word work all my life, or let's say most of my life. I know that work means to pay your bills. That's what it means. Work means to pay your bills, to get your house, to keep the house in order, to keep your family together. But to see work as a medium to develop your potential, something that you love. And now we all know that when you love something, you will put your all into it. You will work intensively. If I had known this, it would have avoided all the heartache and all the tears that I shed. So, kings and queens, hard work, intensive hard work is important to discover your genius ability. It's not miracles, it's not prophecy, it's not tithe and offering,
Not even prayers.
it's not prayers, it's not fasting per se. It is intensive hard work.
Okay, we got the first key.
Yep. So if you're just living to survive, you're denying your world the benefits of the latent, extraordinary capabilities and potentials within you. If you're just living to survive,
Like you said, the way you used to think work was.
yeah, you're just denying the world, you're denying yourself, you're denying of discovering this wonderful, unique genius, because there's no other genius like yourself. There is none. There's just one.
Okay,
of
there
you.
is a book I just finished writing. I don't know how to write, where I was describing that work is not what everybody is thinking. That you shouldn't be scared of. It's the greatest wealth, benefit, blessing that you could ever have. And I'm thinking, how should I name it? Because, it's what you use to discover yourself, discover God, discover nature, discover the potential around you, discover the earth. So much in it, so much blessing. It's the greatest blessing that is out there for you. But I want to put them in such a way that people would know, no, it's not what you thought. This is totally different. So if anybody have an idea, tell me about it or write me about it. Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah. So reading this book, I understand that I need to embark on a journey of life transformation, as it says here. And to do that, I need to develop new attitudes towards developing the genius. Because just because I've discovered that I can become a genius doesn't mean that, it's going to be automatic. So I've learned that, yes, work is one of them.
I see what you are talking about. Here in the book, it talks about work. That's number 4 step. Second, to discover and develop your creative and innovative ability of a genius. It talks about work. Number 2, it talks about attitude to problems. You have to change your attitude to problems. Stop being scared of problems and seeing them as stepping stone. Number 3, you have to change your attitude to challenges. Number 4, you have to have a different mentality. It's all about how you think, mentality. 5, you have to study. 6, you have to think. So these things. 7, curiosity. Develop your curiosity. This is how you become a genius. Develop your curiosity. 7 or 8, effect the power of solitude. 9, develop tenacity. Yeah?
Yes. So all these things I have underlined and looked at, and I said, okay, Anastasia, what happened in the past happened in the past, but it's a new life. We start a new journey. We're going to develop new attitudes. Attitudes like Dr. Sandy read out here. So look at this one. Right. It says that it is a widely accepted notion that one cannot force himself to be a genius. You cannot force anyone to be a genius. While this belief is very true, there is an addition that makes it to say that it is a misjudgment. They say it's either you're born with a genius capability or you're not. How wrong? How wrong?
People say, yeah, it's so wrong.
It still goes back to our
what you started with,
our belief system, because many people believe that we don't. I'm not a genius. So, and it is, like I said, it is widely accepted. It's not just it belongs to small. It is widely accepted that geniuses, and no wonder we hold them on a high pedestal, and we don't accept that.
We addressed that already.
Yes.
So let's keep on going.
Okay. Okay. This one talks about Arthur
Schopenhauer.
Yeah, about because he was
Schopenhauer.
He was a genius, and he came to dispel this myth that that he is superhuman in his thinking, and that we all need to develop a different way of thinking, and that when you have a problem, all you need to do is to break it down into bits. So let me just read here. So the major difference we have is just in the way we think. When others think that something is cumbersome, I think I can break it down into simpler, much tinier steps and solve each chunk or unit one at a time.
Yeah, that is its own contribution to the world, because people are either scared of problems and situations because they see it in a big chunk, in a big complex unit. But he's just saying, even I too, people say I'm a genius, but the reason I'm a genius is that I never see these things in one big unit. I always think of a way to break them down.
I never thought that way. I never thought that a genius would when they're
just a different approach. So it's not that he has a special brain. He just approached the problem in a different way.
To me, that kind of like it counters everything that I believed. And I thought as a genius, if there's a problem, then there's this thing that just goes in your brain. You just wind it up, and then you get the solution.
No, you just approaches it differently.
So that was, a huge turning point. I said, oh, okay, Anastasia. So it doesn't matter what, the challenges. As a genius, this is how you think. You break things down to the tiniest and get things done. That's me developing a different attitude, so I can, think like a genius that I already am.
Yep.
So he says that if you can think just the way I think and act the way that I do, you can achieve comparable results.
Yes. Just approach the problems from today on, not as a big, huge mountain, but think about breaking them down and dealing with them at small pieces.
And also, I like to focus on what you reap is what you sow. We've been taught most of our Christian life that if you want to get something, then you need to fast, you need to pray, you need to, and I used to do that. I used to run after prophets for them to lay hands on me. I used to do that. I must confess, I used to do that. But here we should never forget the law of sowing and reaping. And when we talk about sowing, most of the time we talk about...
We're not talking about money.
No, we're talking about... It applies in every aspect of your life. You cannot plant cassava and be expecting to reap tomatoes. Anyone who sows focus and an intense study and meditation surely reaps an unusual level of understanding.
You see, genius. But we want to become genius. We want to compare ourselves to geniuses when we don't sow anything. We don't put anything ourselves. We don't add value to ourselves. We don't sow anything. We just walk about life and party and enjoy. And we are thinking, oh, I'm not just a genius. No, you begin to, the way you are, begin to sow yourself into knowledge, into understanding and things like a genius does. And you discover that you yourself are a genius too.
It's just amazing. So in the same vein, if you sow laziness, inaction, and distractions, you reap confusion and frustration. Be not deceived. What you put into life is what you get out of life. So friend, nobody is better than you. That in one in
no genius is better than you. No one.
No one is better than you. But it is a foreign concept, because you feel that yes, this one is better than me. This one has got an unusual. God gave this person an unusual mind. That is the belief. He gave them a special mind. So no matter how smart a person is, I learned that someone has to teach him the methods to be able to develop their mind. You need to be taught the methods of a genius. Also, okay, yes, you may understand that you're a genius, but you need
someone has to teach you. Yeah. There are three ways. It could be through studying. You could study to discover those methods. It could be through observations. That's what geniuses do. They either study, so they discover what other people don't know. Secondly, they observe. They don't just react to what is going on. They observe. Or thirdly, they allow somebody to teach them. And they pay attention. That's it. So these are all steps to help you to become an innovator and a genius.
Yeah.
So if you don't have this book, you are wasting your life, because you have the potential to get it.
So I think in summary, because I think we'll just have to move on to another book. To me,
no, we are not moving on to
another book. Okay,
we are taking a book at a time.
All right, okay. So I have here, one of the principal ways to keep discovering your genius capabilities is to have a mindset that chooses to continually determine to do what no one around you has been able to do. To continue to do what no one around you has been able to do. It is so easy to go with the mainstream, to see,
That is one very unique capacity of geniuses. They look to shut new ways. They don't want to be in the crowd. They always want to be in the minority and doing something different from the old masses of people. So that's another mindset change for a lot of people. Make up your mind. You will not be in the crowd. You will shout a new path.
Yeah. And developing a mindset that is not afraid of failure at attempting new and greater tasks that
And while you are developing and charting that new path, you fail many times. So don't be afraid of it. It just comes with the terrain.
which will let you unleash the hidden potentials within you. That really got me thinking, okay, Anastasia, are you willing to do what nobody else has done? How are you going to plan your week such that you do something that nobody else is doing? You know, how are you going to do that? And then are you willing to pay the price to unearth the hidden potentials? Because okay, you think that okay, you're artistic, you love mentoring or coaching, but what about the other stuff that's in you that you haven't discovered? What about it, and what are you prepared to do to ensure that the hidden ones come to surface? That's another level of thinking and developing the genius that is inside of me, because what is inside of me is most probably something that has never been seen, never been seen. You know, it's not out there. And I used to, when I look at my teenage years, I remember that in my confused state, I used to go out there looking for me out there. I don't know why I did that. I used to go out there looking to see if I could find myself out there. But it's not there. It's inside of me. It's hidden in the depths of me.
It's not somewhere.
No.
It's inside.
It is inside of me. And then there's example of Esther Okade,
a lady
who discovered her genius at the age of 3 when she started school. He discovered that she could solve supposedly difficult mathematical questions without batting an eye. Esther had been silently unleashing her love for math in quiet studies. Her parents decided to motivate her.
So that's another point there for genius. They like solitude, or they like loneliness. They isolate themselves normally, developing and adding value to themselves, while other people are doing all kind of noisy stuff there.
And that also, to me, that gives me confidence that I can shut myself away from the world for a long time whilst I'm developing myself. But you know, we've been brought up that you need to fast, you need to pray, you need to be on the mount for a long time, and then people perceive you as you're not being sociable. So I understand that I can be, quote unquote, be very unsociable because
I want to be a genius. I know what I'm pursuing.
I know what I'm pursuing. Let me go forward. Developed geniuses are people who are usually at the top in their fields of career, regardless of whether they pass through the formal education system or not. I'll read that again. Developed geniuses are people who are usually at the top of their fields or career, regardless of whether they pass through the formal educational system or not.
Bill Gates. Mark Zuckerberg.
Okay, it's back. We were talking about this very because education taught me that you were average. I have been on the belief and the notion that education is what should make you
a genius.
A genius. Yes, it's what should make you a genius. But here we understand that no, if any at all, it's solitude, the right attitude, hard work, study, putting your nose to the grind, and all these attitudes that we read before. That is what makes you, so it's a whole mind shift, a whole paradigm shift for me, and I hope it is for you as we're going through this book review. And then we have an example of Stephen Hawking. I'm sure all of you know him, who suffered many disadvantages that should have stopped him from putting him in the work to develop a genius ability, and instead rendering him useless. But he wisely allowed his incapacitation to spur him to develop the great treasures he found in himself to a height that cannot be ignored by his world. He is an English theoretical physicist, a cosmologist, an author, a director.
Cosmologist is somebody who studies nature, I mean the air, like space.
Yeah. Other places.
Yeah.
And a director of research at the Center for Theoretical Cosmology in the University of Cambridge. His genius ability was discovered when he was in high school. He and his friends, with the help of a math teacher, built a computer from clock parts and an old telephone switchboard.
From clock parts
and an old telephone switchboard. How amazing is that? Who would have thought of that? Who would have thought of that?
Clock parts, yeah.
So what is it to say that your genius ability is in the combination of what we will maybe somebody to classify as unusual or odd or weird, something out of this world?
That despite the fact that this guy it became so deteriorated, he couldn't even write. Despite not being able to write or walk, but he had learned, he succeeded in learning to use his mind.
Knowing he could do this helped Stephen develop a sense of self-worth. The sense of self. Remember I said to you that I had no sense of self-worth? Self-worth is discovered through you discovering
who you are inside.
All the potential that is inside of you. And he knew that if he could build that, there was so much inside of him that he had not even tapped. So much that he even tapped.
So there is more in you than what you have discovered.
Yeah. When Hawking was 21 years, he discovered he was diagnosed with a slow form of amyotrophic lateral sclerosis, ALS. His physical abilities deteriorated and he could not write anymore, let alone feed himself. But that never stopped him. So I'm thinking, I have my two hands, my legs, my feet, everything. Why should that be stopped? I don't have an excuse. I don't have an excuse. Hawking, he's won a number of awards. He has won
in his handicap state.
He has won in his lifetime. Also goes to show he is at the top of his career. Somebody who is debilitated is at the top of his career. In 2015, he won the BBVA Foundation Frontiers of Knowledge Award. And in 2012, he won the Fundamental Physical Prize. And in 2009, he was the recipient of the Presidential Medal of Freedom. Therefore, permit me to say, Dr. Sensei, that it is not any kind of limitation that lets anyone remain a dullard or an average person. It is a personal choice to develop yourself that makes you be regarded.
The ball is coming around to your book. The book is coming around to your door.
By all as a genius. So please let me write that again, because this is. Therefore, permit me to say that it is not any kind of limitation that lets anyone remain as a dullard or an average person. It is a personal choice to develop yourself. That
every family must have this book.
Yes.
That makes
you be regarded by all as a genius. So that's my personal choice. If I'm going to just, live in the past and believe what teachers and all those in authority have ever told me, I have the choice to start living as a genius, and which I chose the day I picked up this book. So geniuses are seen to operate at a level that is beyond the ordinary. Now, you're talking to Anastasia, who has always been labeled ordinary. They show extraordinary abilities.
But not in the beginning. They grow into it.
Yeah. So they show extraordinary abilities in their fields of endeavors.
Okay, let's just
move that one.
Yeah. He's talking about examples of people.
So if you're so committed and devoted to hard work, what else would you get apart from supernormal accomplishments?
So it is natural. So those superhuman, supernormal accomplishments that we are talking about, they are only a byproduct of devotion to hard work. Anybody who devotes to hard work in the right way, according to the principles that we have given you, will eventually result in those things that we are talking about geniuses.
Amazing. And you use the word super normal accomplishments.
Yes.
Yeah. So you cannot expect someone who is busy playing in trivialities around and whiling away time to achieve comparable results to the achievement of someone who is loyal to his calling, profession, as he is devoted to hard work. Hard work. So hard work is the key, one of the keys to becoming a genius, which...
You know, we gave you 9 or 10 in the beginning. Hard work was just one of them, right?
So,
but all of that's as simple and easy.
So we have here, this is so nice. Develop your genius doing what you love. I mean, that is just reading about the lives of these geniuses. Do you think there is something inside of you that can make you exceptional in life? Don't you think you have more to offer to the world than you're doing presently? Don't you think that you have more to offer to the world than you are doing presently? Don't you think so? Do you think so? Do you think so? That's a question you should ask yourself. That whatever you're doing, is that all that you can do? Is that all? Are you so comfortable with where you are? The truth is, everybody has a talent and everybody has unique potentials, but are you ready to discover and develop what is yours? Think about this for a second. What will you be known for? As a genius, I don't want to be known for art. I want to be known for greater stuff. What will your genius ability, what will be your genius ability everyone will refer to? I'd like to ask all of you.
Well, you are already being, people are already referring to your genius ability in the area of counseling, what you are doing in the area of counseling, mentorship, in the area of life that you are giving out through your broadcast, and all the things that you are doing. Note-taking, art, you are already having a whole field of things within a year where you are already being, other people are looking up to you as if you are superhuman. But people don't know that you never believed that you could be a genius. But right now, most of the world, even pastors, they are afraid of even starting their own life, brother. And they are looking up to you now and thinking, how is she doing that? How could she do it? Or somebody, or to be doing the counseling that you are doing and the mentorship. How does she get people to follow her? Some people cannot even want people to follow them. I mean, how is she doing it? Because you use the principles.
So all.
Let's leave the other example. Yeah, I use you as the example.
Okay.
Yeah, that's better. That's better.
Wait, let me see what's it. It is high time you also discover your genius potential that you've always carried inside of you. It does not have to start and end with academics. We've talked about that, yes. The academic side. It's always easier to develop a gift you love using as a hobby, or even in a venture.
Most of the time, it could be what you refer to as hobby.
Or even in a venture that you don't care much about being compensated for. Think deeply.
But you do love doing.
You love doing it.
You might not look forward to being compensated for it, but you love doing it. You can develop the geniusity from there.
Amazing. Amazing. Think deeply. Think deeply. What do you love doing? What makes your soul light up when you're doing it? Keep in mind that it's not all about your IQ. And I've said this before, I believe so much in IQ. The higher your IQ, the higher you are a genius. So being a genius is a combination of hard work, IQ, talent, skill, determination, and patience. That's what it is. If you have a combination of these, you are well on your way to shining as a star genius in your world.
We are all.
So, yes, we are all born with genius potentials, but until we discover such talent within us and develop it to a level that is beyond the common, the world will not start seeing and acknowledging us as geniuses. Okay. So until we do all this hard work, we are not going to discover our potential. And the key word is potential. That means all these things that are hiding, abilities, capabilities that are hiding inside in the depths of them. And just like, you know, we have gold, diamond, and all those
in the soil.
In the soil, hidden in the depths of the soil. So are these things hidden
in us,
in the inside of us, which need to be uncovered and brought forth. And then we begin to work on them, and then we begin to see this genius unfold. So I just want to encourage all of you to get.
Before you encourage them, can you say in general terms what actually began to happen to you after?
My mindset was, I'm not a genius. This was the first thing. I am not, capitalized, underlined, I am not a genius. But when I started reading the book, what it told me was that you are a genius. You're made in the image of God. You have been given potential. They're hidden inside of you. They're right there inside of you. You need to unearth these potential through keys that we've mentioned: hard work, patience, diligence, intensive study. These things you need to put to practice. So when I heard this, I said, now the penny has dropped. Now the penny has dropped. It's not to do with that there is this special group of people been given a special brain and therefore they're able to do the extraordinary. But you, Anastasia, contrary to what you've been taught all your years, you have this potential in the form of the things that you love, the things that like I said before, you're made in the image and the likeness of God. He is the one that has deposited these things inside of you, and they're waiting to be earthed, and
just develop them.
Just develop them. That is when the penny dropped. When it shifted from them
to me. Okay.
That's when the penny dropped.
And when were you? What were you not? Didn't you begin to relate that to how can now this help others? Does everybody know this, or only I have discovered this? How can I help? What does that? What began to happen to you in that sense in relation to others?
I was sharing with my on a whim that long time ago, I've had this dream of opening a school where I can mentor, coach young children who've been labeled as dullards, who are average, and don't have it all together. It's a long time dream that I've put aside. That this dream will be like a very special school with very special teachers, different learning styles that can bring out the potential of these children. That's what it's done, and it is bringing this back again. It's bringing it home. Because there are lots and lots of children who've been labeled and classified as, as anything else, as intelligent, just like my story.
But again, I want to say that this book, since I wrote it, I want to say it's not just for the people who have been labeled, but it's just because Anastasia found herself in a. But it's for everybody that is alive today and has not yet discovered his own ingenuity. He has not yet discovered his own genius and has not produce products to prove it. If you don't have products of your life to prove your ingenuity, then you need to run and get that book.
So that's the dream that I've had. And
yeah, do you have a dream for people to get it, to get the same revelation you got?
Well, what I'm going to do, I've started something called Stately and Flourishing 50+ Women. For those who believe that, they don't have it all together, or once again, they've been labeled, or they think that they've missed it. That's where I'm coming in. I'm coming from the Stately and Flourishing 50+ Women, and I'm designing a curriculum that I'm going to help women discover their genius.
And tomorrow, I think tomorrow or somewhere this week, maybe tomorrow, maybe sometime this week, I want us to come back with Anastasia, and this is the book she's using, right?
Yes.
So she has also read this book, and she also has strong feelings about this book because she's over 50, she's 54, and she's really passionate about people who think that they're too late for them, or they are old. Maybe you are over 40 or you are over 50. Anastasia started a whole movement for people who think that they are too old and it's too late for them, or they are old. So this is the book, and we are going to listen to Anastasia the way she will dissect this book tomorrow and tell you why you must get it.
So,
Can I read some comments?
Yes, please.
Hello, everyone. How are you? Okay, Innocent came back with the 3 books that he's been reading or he read. The first one is Only God Can Save Nigeria, What a Myth. The Nigeria Economy, The Way Forward. And my favorite, he said, is Stop Working for Uncle Sam. So those are the main 3 books. If you've just joined us, we were asking, Innocent was mentioned earlier in his comments.
If he's there, tell him that Pastor Sunday is saying that he should get ready to about all the 3 books, send them to us, and then maybe we'll do a program with him too sometime.
Innocent, if you're there, let me just repeat what Dr. John Sunday just said, that you should prepare the books that you've read. So make your own and send them to us so that we can do the same thing with you. So we can probably do it through Skype. So do that as soon as possible. We would appreciate that. So let me read the other comments from others. Have here. Reverend Rosin says, DSA, welcome into my world. I find it
that is, well, okay. I received the invitation.
She said, I find it difficult to resist your program even when I am busy with other activities. It is impossible for anyone to follow you and remain the same. We are blessed to have you in our lives. Then we have for Queen Anastasia, her voice is so calm. Our very own queen, we celebrate you. That's from Oluwatoyin. DSA, this is from Gaining Financial Momentum. I think this is Oluwatoyin as well. DSA's books that I have read and that have made meaning and added value to my life. Sammy says, Papa, did you have your book in PDF? I love you and your book so much.
What do you mean PDF? Electronic?
Yes, we do have it electronically, and you can purchase them on Amazon. So you can get Kindle version on Amazon or Okada Books. That's for Sammy. We also have here. Gaining Financial Momentum said, money won't make you rich. I read this book last year on air while flying between Canada and UK, Nigeria. Second one was Mountain of Ignorance, a must read, and Insulted by Ungodliness. It's another book, and then the next book on my mind is Who Am I? So that's the comment from Gaining Financial Momentum. Emma says, praise God, DSA's teachings are precious. The Bible is what did it for me. Knowing who I am in Christ helped me get my self-worth back. Then we have Innocent made a comment about what you did. DSA made about mosquitoes are the things that made him unique. Then we have Emma said, when you're okay, this is Isaac says, where can we get DSA's book in USA? Okay, Isaac, you should have got a response from that earlier, but if you're still there, you can get DSA's books on Amazon. So go to Amazon, you can get both hard copy and electronic version.
Paperback.
Yeah, paperback and electronic version. So we have here, this is Ebenezer says, thank God I know him. He shows me the pastor Ebenezer Adelaja, you are a genius. Thank DSA for showing this now. Everything is just been downloaded from my brain to a book. I can't do without writing something down. That's from Ebenezer. Ebenezer is also saying every day is a fruit. Thank you. I'm sorry guys, this DSA, this is Emma. We discover it, but because all our lives we have not succeeded, we fear success. That's why we need to transform our mind according to Romans 12:12. That's from Emma saying that. Okay. Ada, yes, this book is recommended for inventors. So, Ada, yes, you can get this book, The Innovative Mind of a Genius. Okay. Tim is saying, I'm so glad that DSA's books have been brought into review over and over again by those who have benefited. Splendid. Doctor, we really need more of your write-up here in Africa or in PDF. When can we download? Yes. Tim, you can get Dr. Sunday's book if you're in Africa on Okada Books, Okada.
From Chioma.
Or Chioma. Chioma has the hard copy, and Okada you can download the PDF or the electronic version if you prefer that. And then we have... Ebenezer says, since the day I read your book, now everything has changed again. I watched that Facebook Live about giving value to yourself. Okay. Innocent says, without the collection, quantity and quality of information DSA has in his mind, no matter how hard he shouts, nobody would have paid any attention to him. So quality information improve your worth. That's from Innocent. Okay. Oh, gosh. Doctor, I do have a boy that stayed with me for 5 years. I discovered that anytime we give ourselves memory to study, the orphan boy will memorize his within 2 minutes. I tried him with a chapter of a Bible. He did memorize in 10 minutes, and he could memorize the whole book of the Bible and say it off by heart. Well, that's another genius there.
Mm-hmm. That's an unusual gift. It has to be developed. Well, if it's not developed, it's going to be wasted.
Okay. He has a special ability to memorize and retain 90% of what he studied. Can we also say that it is an inbuilt talent being discovered by hard work?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Dr. Sunday is saying yes to that yes, it is an inbuilt ability that is being discovered by hard work. Absolutely. Change. Go up. Okay. Okay. Team is also doing what you love doing that can affect humanity positively. Something. Okay, I think that's it in terms of comments. I've read most of the comments here. So guys, we're coming back in time. We'll be back in 45 minutes, so you please join us for the series on continuing the series on truth. What truth is not. So Dr. Sunday will continue with that. And also, guys, look at this. This is the Golden Jubilee limited edition magazine. Have a good look, please. So if you want to order yours now, it's now available to order as many as you like. It's $40 each. It has over 300 pages packed with so much information. This alone has got a lot about in it. If you want to know anything about Dr. Sunday, this is the magazine you must get, okay? So it's $40. It's really a good time as well because you may have people that are coming to HMT. HMT the trainer is starting tomorrow and it will end on Saturday. So if you have people coming from your country, you can ask them to help you to purchase this. So you can contact them, phone them, or maybe while you're watching this, you can see somebody that you know, so you can contact them to let them get one of these or two or as many as possible for you. So it's all available now. This is the Golden Jubilee magazine. Okay? Okay, if you want it from Canada,
We are pasta,
okay, let us know. Send us your details. You can send it to me, Mayawa or Julie Ngoya, Mayawa Olaya or Julie Ngoya. Do you remember this? I show you every time we do attributes. The information about that is here as well. There's so much. This magazine is packed with so much.
If the person is more interested in knowing how to get it, just tell them that we have people from Canada here.
Okay. All right. The person that asked the question how to get it from that they're in Canada, we have people from Canada that are here currently. So you contact us. Maybe they might be living close to you, or they could bring it to Canada and then post it to you wherever you are in Canada, so we can get in touch. So write to us and then we would make the arrangements for you, okay? But the $40
Just
each.
tell us how many you need.
Yeah, tell us how many you need. Here is the magazine. I'm really excited about this magazine. Okay? All right. I hope you would be able to purchase 1, 2, 3, 4. It's so much in this magazine. It's amazing. Okay? All right. So, guys, we're back again. I think now it's about 42 minutes. So we'll be back in about 42 minutes. See you shortly. Take care. Bye.